What's up guys, Guns for Newbies back here, and today we have a very special video. So today we're going to be reviewing the Pit Viper from Terran Tactical Innovations. So before we get into today's video, I wanted to really just thank everyone that has liked, subscribed. We're continuously growing. Every week I'm checking, we're getting more and more subs. Some weeks we get 60 people to sign up, some weeks we get 6. But nevertheless, we're always moving in the right direction. We're getting lots of comments, we're getting lots of questions, we're getting lots of just information from essentially people around the world. So, and that's really what the channel is supposed to be. Sorry, I got a mess here. It's kind of driving me off topic, but really the point of the channel is to bring a lot of knowledge to people that are looking to buy guns and get honest opinions and actual facts on these guns. This is not made to give you anything other than an actual opinion based on what my micro survey analysis is, and just help that, help give you guys that, so that way it may in turn help you purchase the right gun or avoid purchasing the wrong gun. So all in all, this has been a gun that's been on my radar for a number of years. It's always been very difficult to get one. I actually did not mean to even buy this gun. So what happened is I had a Sand Viper, and that one has its own video coming to the channel of my ownership experience with that. Just spoiler alert, it is not very good as of right now, but the company has been fantastic. I'm not going to dive too much into that just because, again, I'm going to make a whole separate video on that. So stay tuned for that one, as well as that one led me into this one. So I was, let me dive into that later because it's going to kind of spoil the whole entire video, and I don't really want to do that. I really want to dive into the specifics of this, and then we'll circle back around and kind of get back to that and why I was doing what I was doing and how I accidentally bought this one. So this gun is a 2011, better known, from Staccato, or better yet, 1911 double stack. This is a, I want to say it's a 5-inch profile. I think it's like a 4.6-inch barrel with a huge compensator on the end, and it has like a little muzzle brake on each side. Now, if you want the exact specs, there's plenty of videos that have that. I'm just going to talk about the actual, importance of this gun in terms of what it has, what it offers, everything that it does. So, if you're familiar with 2011s, which I'm sure you are because you're watching this video on the Pit Viper, a lot of people have said this gun resembles a Staccato XC. So let's just real quick show you that the gun is cleared. Okay, so as you can see, there's nothing in there. Keep hitting my stand. As you can see, nothing there. Okay, so let's dive into a couple things. So a lot of people were really upset because the gun came out. It had like a little stippled polymer grip, and then they ended up going to these, and I always forget what the name of these are. They're like JMD something or the other. And I've seen these online before they actually made it to the Pit Viper and the Sand Viper, and I was kind of intrigued by them. I will say, after having it on here, this is the grippiest polymer frame I've ever, and it's like a composite material, whatever the actual terminology is. This is just to give you an idea. This is not steel or aluminum, okay? Whatever the texture is, so that way I don't get beat up by all the statistic warriors that are jumping the comments. It's actually called this, and it's this. That's not the point of the video. So the point of the video, again, is just to talk about what you actually get for how much you're spending. And so to dive further into this, you get this really, and I actually really like it. I was contemplating buying a steel grip for this guy, and I just can't bring myself to do it. So, and there's a number of reasons for that. One, you're going to get a lot faster transitioning. You're going to get faster just gun handling all over, just overall. You're also going to have a lot less heat transfer as you shoot guns a lot. The metal actually will heat up real good, and it will be extremely hard to shoot. So to give you an idea, I took this guy, I did about 180 rounds. Now in the first magazine, I had 2 hangups, and then as soon as those 2 hangups were gone, and it was like the first 2 shots, so like just one failure to get in a battery, and then the next one, it was the same thing. So after I got through those 2, then I had no other issues beyond that point for those first 180 rounds. Okay. And moving forward, I took the gun home just to visually see kind of how I was wearing, everything like that. Everything looks completely normal. There's nothing really off. And I'm really trying not to spoil the Sand Viper, and that's kind of why I did this testing this way. I just wanted to inspect it. I did not clean it. Everything seemed to be wearing in normally from how I've shot many guns, and it ended up just being an awesome gun. I was trying to figure out how to adjust these because both this and the Sand Viper did not come zeroed in. So I don't know how. I think they just put the Optic on there or something maybe. I'm not really sure. But either way, this guy was shooting like 5 or 6 inches low at 30 feet. So I was trying to figure out how to work this, and I've never had one of these optics that I've ever had to adjust. So I didn't know. I had one of these on my Staccato P. I shot like a magazine through it, and I sent it off to get ported and optic cut by Vulcan. So I never really had any experience with this. So I was trying to torque it down to, in my theory, was that would raise the front sight, and it's actually backwards. So if you want the, because I think it's because of the angle that they actually cut the front and rear, you have to adjust this up, which I didn't know until a little bit ago. So I haven't even shot it with it adjusted up. I had put the screw in all the way to the bottom, and then it was shooting, off. It wasn't that it was shooting terrible. Like if I held in the center, it was shooting low, but I mean, I was holding out the paper in the exact same spots. So it just made it kind of hard to really focus on what I was actually doing there, and it kind of was irritating me and making me mad. But that's completely beside the point. That's 100% user error that's got nothing to do with the gun itself. All in all, I have just truly fell in love with these guns. So I'm trying to dive into everything and also give you, not take too long with explaining stuff to you guys. But let's get into a lot of the complaints that I see online. So, and this is not going to be a video that where I'm just completely bashing the gun for what it costs, completely saying this, you can buy this Prodigy and add a comp to it. It's the same thing. That is not the point of this video. That is not what it's going to be. And also that'll never happen. So all in all, I'm not going to base this, score this gun off of cost. I'm going to score this of the performance that you get from this gun. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. This gun has been the most impressive gun I've ever shot flat out. So let's start out with why. One, the grip texture is amazing. You can lock this gun in your hands. It does not go anywhere. You do not have to adjust your grip. You are not feeling like it's squirreling away or anything like that. It is lighter than a Staccato XE with the way they did the slide cuts and the composite grip. And you do not feel that at all. This gun shoots so flat. It is insane. It's hard to describe or even hard to pick up on camera. But when you shoot this side to side to any other ported gun so far that I've tested, this one takes the cake by far. Other things that are very, very cool about this gun, I love the extended mag release. Makes it super easy to do reloads. The safeties, very tactile, and it's actually a little bit bigger than an XC safety. So you can really bear down on the back of that. I wish they would have pinned this, but again, this is my personal preference. This is very, very low profile. I have not had any issues. Actually, with the way they angled this grip, you can really get up there and just slam that guy home. And I've not had, like I said, any issues on this one or my Sand Viper. Now, things to ride home about. The slide is the smoothest slide with it. It's got like the lightest recoil assembly that's been completely functional by far that I've ever felt. So I'm going to have some range footage here in a little bit, and you can see the ejections on this thing are absolutely nuts. Okay, absolutely nuts. As you can see, I still haven't cleaned the gun. Let's see if we can get in there. It's kind of gunky on the inside. It's surprisingly not that dirty, but I have not actually cleaned this at all. Let me see if I can get in there. Yeah, so you can see there's a little bit of debris in there. The barrel feed ramp on the inside there, let me stop hitting my stand, is actually completely filthy. You can see the inside of the slide there is kind of mucked up too. But now, yes, as I was as I was explaining, I mean, this is ridiculous. Like ridiculously smooth. Ridiculously smooth. Smoothest, lightest slide I've ever felt by far. Really, I mean, if you want to hate this gun, you're going to have to find another video, because this is just not one where I'll be able to really point out really any negatives. Now, craziest thing about this gun is this trigger. I mean, I felt that on the Sam Viper, and I haven't been able to get away from it, but the trigger is insane. So you just get a very little amount of take up. You get a small wall, and it just breaks. And I'm telling you, it's the lightest trigger I've ever felt without being too light. For me, I've not felt, and I've felt some crazy like half-pound triggers, and some of those just don't really work for me. Now, I think they say this is 1.75 to 2 1/4, but both after 500 rounds, this one and my Sam Viper feel like light as a feather. So I typically, you know, when I'm aiming or transitioning, what I'll do is, if you're running USPSA, you should have your finger outside of the trigger guard. If you're just at the range, until I'm ready to shoot, I actually press my nail up against the front here of the trigger guard, because it is extremely light. And I have not had any issues with prematurely shooting anything, like, you know, accidentally sending one. Never had that issue, but I see that for the average person, this would be a very, very easy one, because you get a trigger that where you feel the wall, and then when you slightly get past that, it's got like a rolling break, and it is so crisp and so clean. It's super hard. My XE, I have a red dirt trigger, and that one breaks under 2 pounds, and I'm telling you, this one feels a million times better. I'm so much more accurate with this guy than anything I've ever held. It's I mean, the slide just reciprocates. It's so flat and soft to close, because they lightened up the slide and did that stuff to make the slide super light, that when it's closing, I mean, it just tracks so beautifully. I've never felt anything like it. Now, in terms of actual build quality, people complain because of, like, you know, there's like a little gap here, the frame to slide fitment. I would rate it, the only reason I'd rate it here, I'd rate it 9 out of 10. And the only reason I'd rate it 9 out of 10 is because I have an Atlas, Atlas Artemis, and that Atlas is just pure perfection. Now, in terms of how the slide and everything closes on the Atlas versus like something like this, that's the only reason I rate it there, is because I felt something that, in my opinion, is a little bit better. Now, in functionality wise, is that going to affect anything? It might affect reliability. The tighter your tolerances are, the more you might have to baby the gun. This guy, we have 600 rounds through so far, and I just picked it up. So we did 600 rounds through it. We had 2 issues on the first magazine, first 2 shots actually. After that, every other shot after that, we have not had a single malfunction. It's feeling like it's completely broken in. Wonderful extractions of or ejections of the cases. I don't have any concern with this gun whatsoever. I know it's going to run. It honestly runs better than my XC did from the factory with the 7-pound spring. And I actually went to a heavier spring because it was having failure to go back into the battery after you shot it up a bunch. You know, you shot like 400 shots, and then you'd start to get some hang ups. So I went to a 9-pound spring, and that seemed to eliminate that for me altogether. In this one, you don't have that. Now, in terms of fitment, to get back to that and kind of finish that guy off for this section, this is not anything to take lightly. This is not a Staccato XC. This is not a Prodigy. This is not anything else other than a premium luxury 2011. You hear nonstop, oh, well, you know, the fitment of that gun is garbage. I've read so many Reddits. I've read so many things that were kind of deterring me. And I said, you know what? Let me make this determination so that way I can help other people that are watching my channel. This is not a gun for those who are, I hate to say it this way, financially incapable. This is a gun, though, that will help you if let's say you have a 2011, you've maxed out your shooting capability with it, or you want that next competitive edge, and you want to just go up to the next thing. And, you know, there's other guns, like, in my opinion, to go below this, you're at XE. You're at Nighthawk, TRS Comp, or whatever it is, and a couple of those guns. Now, the fitment on this is absolutely nuts. Again, let me stop hitting my thing, stop shaking. So I don't know if you can see that, but I'm wiggling this very vigorously, and there is no play in it. A little bit in the front, not very much. Not very much. As you can see, the tolerances are very tight. Everything seems to just work completely great. Now, in terms of everything else, magazine fitment, everything, I mean, it all works fantastically. Barrel lockup, fantastic. There's no sponginess to the slide at all. Again, a little bit maybe in the front and a little bit side to side. Just a tad bit, but less than a Staccato XC by far. The fitment on this gun is absolutely fantastic. I think that it comes with better ejections. I think it comes with a way better trigger that you'll never be able to achieve out of an XC unless you have like a fantastic gunsmith that can actually do one completely custom for you. And you're talking ignition kit, I mean, you're looking at so many things to even be able to be close to this. And I think that this one will be far more superior to it anyways. The only other trigger that I've ever felt that's even came close to this, it was my Atlas Artemis. So I went from the XE with my custom trigger job to the Atlas. That was by far better. And then I went up to this guy in terms of trigger, and this has been the most crazy for me by far. I have not had anything that has ever just shot to this capability. Even though it's lighter, it shoots flatter, faster, and more consistent than any of my Staccatos I've ever had. It doesn't help, or I guess it doesn't hurt that it's a very, very attractive for me. This is like one of the most, I think it is the most attractive gun I've ever seen. It's also got that sentimental value to me for it being the John Wick gun. And I wanted to buy it specifically to see if it was all just movie or if it literally has capability. And the Sam Viper actually does have a couple championships under its belt, and I easily can see why. So to sum this video up, we'll go to the range footage here real quick, and then we'll come back and I'll sum it up for you guys. And I didn't have the most range footage here, but this is not a gun that we're going to just show one video. This is going to be one that I'm never going to sell this gun. This is going to be a gun that we are looking to review for the long term, see how it holds up, see how everything goes there, and kind of go from there. So to sum this up, this, for what you're looking at, if you do not have a budget and you're looking to get that next level, I mean, I wouldn't even factor in budget. If you're looking to get to the next level, let's say you have some STIs, you have a Staccato, you have a Prodigy, you have whatever you need. If you have like a Prodigy, in my opinion, you should go up to like an XC to kind of experience that. And the reason for that is you'll never appreciate how good this gun truly is until you've been training with something that is better than what you're currently, you know what I mean? So you're kind of just taking the steps in the right direction. You start, you know, shooting your Staccato. Like, for example, my gun that I went to from this was my XC, and that made all the difference, because when I first got the XC, I had my ported P, and I was able to see that was like 10 to 15% faster than my ported Staccato P. Then I went to this guy, and again, this one's probably 15% faster, in my opinion, than the Staccato XC, to where it's just that next level of shooting. So if you're looking for that next competitive edge, this is not a bad route for you to go. The only other thing that may compete with it would be probably the Erebus. I have not shot the Erebus. That is, I'm trying to get one for the channel, but this is by far, of everything I've ever shot, the best gun I've ever had. I do not care if I would have paid another $1,000 for it. Knowing what I know now, I 100% would do it if that means that's what I would have to do in order to get this gun. Longevity wise, I think it's going to hold up great. It hasn't been a oil queen, so I haven't taken any oil to the range or anything like that. It holds up really well. I did just wipe off the top like with my finger, and as you can see, it's still a little dirty. I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up, but I haven't actually cleaned this gun. Really, your main concerns are like the barrel feed ramp to make sure the rounds aren't going to start getting stuck in there. And it's just been a fantastic, reliable firearm that just shoots uncomparably, like as far as I've shot, and I've shot quite a bit. I have, I just haven't seen anything else like this. And I also don't want to go to a gun where, it's got ports and it's got a comp in there, and then it's got this and that, and the lightest recoil spring, it can barely feed the rounds out, and it's just, you're lucky to get through 100 rounds without issues. I shoot these guns. I actually plan to take the Sand Viper is going to be my USPSA open class, and I know that's not like the prime thing to do because you get penalized for the minors, but you won't get penalized if you hit A zone. So as long as you're A zone warrior, you won't have to worry about that. And also the other factor is you're shooting a gun that you're enjoying to shoot, and for me, a lot of it is, for my own enjoyment and pleasure. So it's not about, if I wanted that, I would just go out and get a 38 super crazy pistol, like an Infinity or something that's got multiple ports in it and whatnot. But I'm not a big fan of those big guns that have charging handles and all that stuff. Like I like taking these to the range and being able to have a holster for them and doing competitions with them. That's just me personally. If you're looking to become a grandmaster, then you probably want to go down the other route. I don't have any desire to do that. I just like going, competing, so that way I can better further myself as a shooter and, just get better with the selection that I have that visually pleases me. I'm too OCD to have something crazy like that I'll need like a competition holster for. I like having just a Kydex that you can just have, and this one definitely does help me achieve that. So all in all, I'll quit rambling on here because there is so much to cover on this. I really didn't even cover too much because there's so much internet hate towards these guns because they say, oh, well, they're nothing different than a staccato and they're not worth the money and the fitment's trash and this and that. I'm telling you, as somebody who owns an Atlas, who has this crazy fitment, you will not be upset buying this gun, in my personal opinion, because of the performance that you get out of it. It is more of it gives you more of that race gun feel, and just the lightning cuts, everything. Those cuts are so much more aggressive than what you would think they are. Like, they're very, very grippy, easy to manipulate the gun, super light slide, awesome ejections, awesome reliability, the best trigger I've ever felt. Even the iron sights on this guy, even though they weren't directly on, it still was some crazy groups of iron sights that I'd never been able to do before. And I got some pretty good groups before, but just never anything like this. Granted, they were low, but now that I understand how to adjust this, I should be able to change that, get you guys some more range footage, and also give you guys some higher round counts and updates on how the reliability has been, the long-term stuff, what I'm seeing, if there's any potential issues, things of that nature. So that is going to sum it up for this guy. We're going to do this guy versus hopefully an Erebus at some point in the future. But I will do a luxury 2011 fit and finish video, so that'll be coming up as well. Once I get my Sand Viper back, I will update and do a complete start from video from start to finish on how that's went, and kind of how it ended out. So hopefully everything goes well for me there, because that, again, is this gun just with the lowest optic cut I've ever seen, and it's honestly just an awesome gun. So we'll end the video there. Stay tuned for the future stuff that we have coming, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you think, and kind of go from there. Thanks.